Hello, fellow humans. So, I have a piece of paper today with thoughts that I wrote out. This is not a channel message. I've been doing a lot of like inner child healing work. Y'all, the inner child had the plug or has the plug on all the stuff you're supposed to be doing in his life. So, I started thinking about like, who was I when I was little? What did I get into? My little sister was like my guinea pig. That was my test subject, right? So I would roll up on her with a piece of paper like this, right? Ripped out of my notebook. And I'd be like, yo, we are about to do news reports. And she'd be like, what? But she'd just go along with it because she loved me so much. So we would just pretend to be like news anchors. I even when I had friends come over, they would always be surprised because the next thing they know, I had written out like 12 sheets of paper for my little five friends, and we were about to do lessons together. Today, guys, we are doing a lesson on getting paid to be yourself, right? This came through in a spurt of inspiration when I was meditating in the morning someday last week, and I just had to wait till I had the time to fully be able to like get into this for you all, because who does not want to be paid to be themselves? And as a matter of fact, what came to me with this thought was everybody is supposed to be paid to be themselves. That's where the inner child stuff comes in and is really important because what you were originally drawn to before you learned about bills and who makes more money doing what and all that stuff was connected to your authentic energy signature. So, without further ado, let me tell you what I came up with. So, this is for people who are or want to be business owners, pretty much. I think everybody in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just passive income, would like to have a business or something that they share as a hobby that happens to make them passive income. If you fit in any of those categories, you will love this video. So, getting paid to live in your purpose is the same thing as being paid to be yourself. What is your purpose, though, right? The best way I can explain figuring out what your purpose is what do you do that you could do every day and be excited about doing it? Your purpose is to exist or live in your joy. What do you create when you are in your happiest states? Some people go into the kitchen. When that kitchen, they get into the zone. And then when you eat their food, you're like, yo, this is your thing. Some people get like that when they sing. Some people get like that when they write. Have you ever seen an incredible dancer? And all you can do is admire it, like, yo, I can't do that, but she is like gone. Like that is her purpose. Your purpose is the gift that you were given to share with other people that comes to you naturally. You just do it. Some people are really good at taking care of children. That's one to not be slept on, especially in this world. But your purpose and who you are the root of what you are meant to be getting paid to do. If you wake up in the morning, Sister Acts, and you gotta sing, baby, you're a singer. That's what you're supposed to get paid for. If you wake up in the morning and you want to design clothes, if you want to draw, if you want to go work out, maybe you're meant to be a personal trainer. It's been hidden in front of us the whole time as something that you can't use to make money. I don't even want to say to make money, to earn abundance, to bring forth prosperity in your life. And that's a lie because this is actually the way that you will generate the most income and prosperity in your life because the energy or frequency of love draws everything to you. So, my goal for you all through this channel, even my YouTube channel, is for you to live a life that you adore. That means when you wake up in the morning, you love the place that you wake up, you love the people you live with, you love what you do for a living to earn all the lovely things that you have in your life. You love what you eat, you love what you look like, you live in the energy of gratitude because everything is exactly what you want it to be, or you are consistently working towards making it what you want it to be, and you know it's possible for you, right? So, people who are paid to share their gifts, right? To live in their creative state. And I did a version of this for my Femergetics class, but it just seemed like such a powerful message that so many people needed to hear that I wanted to reiterate it. When you see Oprah do an interview, you can tell that her purpose is to ask people questions, right? When you saw Michael Jordan on that court, you understood this man was meant to play the sport. Same with Kobe, right? When you watch Sierra dance, you say, She was meant to dance. When you hear Mariah Carey sing anything, you know that her voice was the gift that she was given to share with other people. What I am trying to connect your mind or wrap your mind around is not that far. It's just a matter of you flipping that mirror towards yourself. So I want you to go into observation mode before yourself. Because at first I was thinking, go through your life and think about the compliments that you have got from people along the way. But those are sort of projections sometimes. People only see the pieces of you that remind them of them, and that's what they tend to focus on. So sometimes somebody can criticize you for something that is your gift because they don't have that and compliment you for something that reminds them of themselves. So that would not be a accurate mirror of you locking into your purpose or recognizing what is the thing that you do that is most magnetic, most natural, most in your creator state, your flow. You're just going to do it. If you had free time all the time, the thing that you would still gravitate towards is the thing that you were made to do to be paid to exist, right? So if you keep dreaming about it, if you keep thinking about it, if it keeps coming back around to you, that's also a good sign. But observe yourself. Even the inner child, what is the one thing that you keep coming back to? What is something that you're good at that you sort of take for granted? There are so many times I come across a person and I'm like, hey, are you sort of like really organized? And they're like, yeah, I just can't stand a house that's a mess, but that's not a skill. Babe, do you know how many people are not organized? Whose houses are a mess and could benefit from somebody who is good at compartmentalizing things? Anything could be a profitable skill. There are people on this internet making thousands of dollars to sit and eat, just fat, gluttonous, right? But they realized that their joy in life came from snacking, and other people like watching snacking. Don't miss out on your money because you are underestimating the gift or the natural magnetism that you have. It does not matter if there are 1,000 people doing it. You shine uniquely because of your frequency. When you walk into the supermarket and you come across the bread aisle, there are at least 100 different types of people selling bread. Did any of those 100 people say, no, I can't make bread because other people are making it? No. And every month, what happens? The grocery store puts in an order to restock that bread because that individual special bread that that person came up with lines up with a particular demographic. In these charts, every planet has a house, has a degree, right? And there's a piece of bread that triggers that house, planet, and degree. That's how the demographic works. There's going to always be something for somebody because we are all magnetically being aligned and drawn to each other. It is a limiting belief that you will not find your people or that you cannot do it. This place works. Unfortunately, the test of it is working to take you away from your purpose and making sure that you feed the machine and become a cog in their system, feeding all your magnetic energy to a bigger system that is technically getting the work they're getting because you are an employee there. The abundance that is meant to come to you will find its biggest funnel in something directly to you. Otherwise, say you work as a driver for Amazon. You do pretty good because you get packages every day, but those packages on a different vibration would be you fulfilling orders for a product that you're supposed to be sending out for other people. Paid to be yourself, paid to do what comes to you naturally, paid to do what brings you joy and your creator flow energy, because we all came here to create, not consistently consume. So if you don't feel like the dream that you have in your head, the skill that you have is enough, even though you notice a spark, right? Don't use that as a reason to limit yourself. Reinforce that skill. If you are good with your hands, right? And you like the idea of building furniture, but you don't necessarily have that skill set, take a class. Make it stronger. Reinforce anywhere that you feel is a weakness. If, for instance, I'm currently taking a class for articulation. I talk to you guys all the time, but there's still my Chiron and Gemini feeling of being misunderstood. So instead of me continuing to go through this career, holding myself back, not helping the people that I know I am being called to help because I feel like I don't always express myself the clearest, I decided, hey, let's take this articulation class, reinforce the skill, fortify it. After I get done that one, I'm going to take one on public speaking, and then I'm going to take one on confidence and self-esteem. But is what you want worth doing the extra work to free yourself from the chains that you have been bound in? Absolutely. So from now on, when you get a challenge or you have a negative thought in your head, when you are working towards that getting paid to be yourself or living in your purpose or doing that dream job, when that negative thought pops in, I want you to grab it in your head like a fly, like, aha, I got your ass, right? But then say, what can I do to prove that this is a lie? What can I do to remove this block? Because the limitations are limited. I guess there's no better word to use. They're limited. That's a block for a moment. Once you figure out what that block is, you can reinforce it, you can reconstruct it, you can flip it, put it down and reverse it. You can do what you want to with it, but you cannot continue to allow your life to be stolen from you because of some lies that are still flying around in your head. Okay? So, your self-empowerment, right? Your fuel. In your chart, number 433 is your eros. This is your passion, your joie de vivre, your libido, the thing that will excite you no matter what. I want you to look into your eros. This is going to be like a good exercise for you rekindling your memories of what made you happy, because some of y'all are so tired y'all can't even think about what y'all used to like anymore. But your eros will tell you this person is good at outdoor activities. This person might enjoy being near the water. All things that will reconnect you to your passion so you can start thinking like, hold on, I remember me. Because some of y'all are so worn down that you don't even remember what you did before trying to pay bills and just survive. Survival mode is a bitch because our brains are broke up into all sorts of segments, right? But right here in the back, it's called the reptilian brain. That's in charge of your fight and flight and that survival mode, right? That is 90% of where the energy from your mental processes comes from. Most of the time, we are simply fighting for our lives. But once you start leaning into creativity, once you start working on your nervous system in that flow, you activate the other parts of your brain that are not simply focused on today, this moment. You start thinking about the long term. You start dreaming again. And when you dream something, it is only in alignment with your thoughts because it is possible for yourself, because that is how we are created here. That is how Source created us. Everything else, even that reptilian brain, is a trick. Okay? So, self-empowerment through tunnel vision. Make yourself a priority in your life. And once you discover what that gift that you want to share is, nothing else matters. You might have to do your A, B, C, and D every day, but make sure every day as a top priority, you are adding towards that bucket, because eventually that's going to overflow. And when that overflows, you can let go of everything that was holding you back. You won't need that job that you just had to work at just because it was convenient and paid what you needed for that moment, because you will have something that you consistently pour into that feeds you as well, right? So, so tunnel vision is removing distractions. If it's on your algorithm and it's not working towards or teaching you about what you need to focus on, cut it. Most of the time, you just need to cut your phone anyway. I have two phones. One is a burner because it's not connected to anything, and then one is my actual phone. I realized I was getting distracted with many conversations in between me trying to do my work. And when I went to do the math, I was like, hold on, I'm speaking to at least 6 people a day for 30 minutes each, unscheduled, right? That's 3 hours a day. That's 20 hours a week. That's why I'm always late on my work. So now, if you don't have an appointment, if you're not scheduling an appointment, I will get to that message when I have a moment, because there are people who have already given me their energy exchange that I need to focus on. And it took me a while to realize, as a people pleaser, a recovering people pleaser, that it's not rude for me to ignore somebody who is bumping in to the schedule. It's not like I have a friends page where people are talking to me. Y'all are literally writing me on my business page during business hours while I'm trying to do business. Wrapping my head around that helped me recognize the other distractions. I don't have time to scroll Instagram. I might look at threads for some inspiration. My YouTube algorithm has now been curated, so it's only things that I need that are going towards my development and my growth. That is tunnel vision. It is a level of discipline and consistency that you need. When you do this for 21 days, you literally rewire the brain. So from childhood, you got sort of patterns that have been etched electrically, right? In your brain. That means when A happens, B happens, right? It's just going to go boom because that's what you're used to occurring in your life. After 21 days of working on a certain behavior, a whole new neurological pathway works in your brain. So when something goes wrong, whereas in the past, it would have been you suddenly spiral because that's what used to happen when you were younger. If you had built this new pathway during that 21 days, next time something goes wrong, you're going to say, oh, this has redirected me towards something I wanted. So, what was I manifesting? How does this connect to that as opposed to, fuck it all, this is my life. Everything bad always happens to me, which is the thought that was keeping you in the loop. You have to focus and lock in for 21 days because if you stop at any time during that point, you got to start over again because you broke up the pathway being built in your brain. We are doing brain science up in here, y'all, because the mind is the second strongest magnet in your field, in your manifestation. Let me show you here. I love that. I am now back in the position to share my screen with you guys. I haven't been able to do this for a while. I really missed y'all while I was gone, but dang, the progress that got made. I'm so proud of me. And I never get to say that. So frequency and oh, electromagnetic field. So let me show y'all this here. The two biggest fields that control that magnet that I was telling you about, your auric field, this, which literally, this is how the algorithm in your life is controlled. If you wonder how you can think about something and sometimes it pops up on your phone and you're like, I didn't say that to anybody, what the fuck? Because your thoughts are the second biggest controller of your experience here. Reality is only bouncing back to you what is in connection to and your demographic based upon your chart design or your own thoughts, be they subconscious or conscious, right? Your heart is the largest one. The field is way stronger. That's why living a life of love, enjoying things that are only in alignment with that is such a beautiful idea, right? Who would not want to do that? Like every day I wake up in a energy of inspiration. That's what technically will happen because you were locked into source as we were meant to be here. So this is the vibrational scale, right? When you are in the energy of love, look what comes through: joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom. You start getting all inspirational, like what happened for me here. You start having messages that you want to share with other people because you're no longer just working for yourself. You're allowing the universe to work through you. That's what happens when you're in your flow state. If you do not understand the concept of the flow state or being locked into yourself or just open to be paid to be yourself and just share what pours out of you, check out the movie Soul. Wonderful example. When your magnet is low, when you are not in your purpose, when your thoughts are dark or you have those pathways that are still leading you in circles because it's connected to your reptilian brain or your childhood trauma that hasn't been cleared out, you go from boredom to pessimism, frustration, overwhelm, disappointment, doubt, worry, and it just keeps getting worse. So you're down here in depression, powerlessness, and victimhood. Nothing good comes out of being here, especially because this magnet here, it no longer has any value. It's like a dead battery. It cannot draw anything to it from that place. But when you are over here, even contentment, hopefulness, optimism, even considering that something good could happen to you, you open the gate for stuff to pour in. So many of us are shut down by old thoughts that no longer serve, right? So start before you're ready is my last piece of advice on here, right? Just jump out there, especially with the arrows thing. When you Google it, look up the sign it's in, look up the house it's in, look at the degree it's in. Just get some ideas about what would re-spark you to open in yourself because you've been locked in a box for a while. And even if you haven't, if you're around here in this boredom, boredom is the beginning of stuff about to go down. Don't let it go down, baby. Okay? So this whole video that I've been doing for you guys has been encoded while I'm doing it with frequency. The frequency is release limiting beliefs around your your success. So what happens with the frequency is it connects to that web that I was showing you, and suddenly that energy is triggered within you. In the event that you feel like you just can't get out of your own way, frequency training, Reiki, what this does is like a domino effect. You click on it. We're in a choose your own experience type simulation. You click on it, and then suddenly you're going to start thinking about, wow, I wanted to do this when I was younger, blah, 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 and all the things that were blocking you start moving out the way. This one start popping up in your algorithm because you just gave consent for you to let go of the things that were holding you back. The same thing with this transcendence thing, frequency I listen to, the 999. That's when you tap into your crown. So when I'm listening to that, everything that Aisha was thinking about in her ego self and her business self falls away. And then I get ideas like this, which is literally where this whole thing came from. I was listening to the 999. I deliver what source wants me to share with other people based on that frequency, as opposed to me scrolling and saying, what would be a good idea for a topic today? You can have completely original content and ideas and things that are meant for other people to be magnetized towards for your business as well. Some days I have people like multiple people say, yo, I was just thinking about this. How did you do this, baby? I am that I am, and the I am is working through me. So this message was meant to reinforce you in what you are already being told, because you didn't believe it just coming through you. You are helping other people with their intuition by you doing what you came to do, by you starting your business, by you building, by you being in fashion, by you writing a book, by you sharing about your childcare journey, by you creating a cream for eczema. Like you are doing what somebody else prayed to come across. It's so much bigger than just you saying, hey, I would like to, make money being me. That's the benefit that comes from allowing yourself to be open for what your purpose was, because your purpose is what this human came to do, right? So I've had this session, let me pull it up. Session type available on my website for years. And it didn't occur to me until I wrote this out that I had been explaining it wrong. So this is my website, channelingangels.com, channeling-angels.com, right? There is a thing on here that I always keep like on sale. So I don't know if it's really a sale if I say that. Like there's the price it's supposed to be, and then what I keep it as. Because I'm like, if people knew what this was, they would be getting it all the time. It's amazing. But I explained it over here in techno talk. I was still in a space of needing to express how intelligent I was because I didn't feel like I was understood by anybody. But I would like to explain it today because I think a lot of people could benefit from this, especially if you're one of those people that feels like, I don't know what I have to share. When I woke up today, the energy I got was people need to understand their hidden talents. Like some people are sleeper cells, they have been held back or in a cocoon to learn the skill that they're going to flip into what they're meant to do going forward. So this duality to integration activation, you have been split into two parts, right? You got your light body, all your gifts, all your talents, all the stuff that happens when you're connected to source. Then you have your shadow self. That's all the stuff hidden in the background. That's all the lower spiral stuff there. The combination of those two creates an empowered Super Saiyan type being, right? So in this, I give you a whole 45-minute video and I explain how astrology works so that you can understand charts better. This is wonderful for newbies with astrology, especially. But if you are an avid astrology like person, you will get a whole new understanding of these charts and everything that you can find inside of them. You can look at it completely different after this. I also include, hold on now, all the notes, hold on, as a reference from the slideshow for you to go back and look through again, right? Along with a little detective kit. When I made it, I was like, what would I want to know at the beginning of my spiritual awakening? Or what would I have wanted to be taught? Right? So there's this whole other area I have with stuff that I thought people would be interested. Let me go back. Hold on. And looking into. Well, I changed the in it. There we go. That's what, right? I did. Okay, so that's what the bonus material is in here. It's extra rabbit holes that you can go down to that actually like trigger the way that you think or trigger memory of things that you were supposed to be sharing in the first place. The best part of this, well, I like it all, to be honest. But the best part of this whole thing is your design decoded. I take your natal chart and I give you a whole little folder here. Where you at, bruh? And we go through each house and each planet. And then my favorite, 16 asteroids. This is your banks. This is your talent. This is your Midas. All the parts where your talents have been hidden this whole time. And I could do it in here. Hold on, let me look. In a way that breaks it down like you ain't never seen it before. So you realize this is the sixth house, but what is your Pluto? What is your transformation point, right? What did your power get converted to? In this person's case, their gift came from the ability to contemplate. When this person sits alone, and this is Devontae, hey Devontae, when this person sits alone with their thoughts, their pain converts into the ability to recognize where God has been in their life the whole time. This person's meant to be a psychologist, okay? Creative genius. And when you talk to this guy, he has no idea about any of this because this is his thing. He read it. He was like, "You could really change my life." He has Chiron in first in the sign of Gemini. He didn't think of himself in a certain way because he didn't have anybody to reinforce it in him. He's actually deaf, right? So his family pretty much told him his whole life, you got a handicap. You just work with that. Get what you get from the government. You don't ever have to be more than that. Imagine how much help he could be to the deaf community as a psychologist or somebody who helps them through their stuff. He could be an astrologer for the deaf. That's a whole field, his whole bread loaf that he didn't know was available in him. These activations are meant to help you see yourself in a way that you did not see yourself before. And this whole time, I did not have a way to express that to you guys until I sat down with this. Paid to be yourself in your highs and lows through recognizing your hidden talents and your gifts. So, everybody, get the activation if you need a push. That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a spark, along with that info that's on your arrows that is included in here. Because nobody has to work for other people, especially when they hate doing it every day. If you love your job, that's beautiful. Go forth. You might already be in the service you're meant to be in. That might have been pre-planned for you, sixth house planets, right? But if not, take the reins back on your life. Release yourself. And y'all have a good day.